become a tradition with us, this seminar that we have. We have an excellent panel today, as we have in years past. We could charge you $500 for this seminar, and you'd probably come anyway, because these are some of the best known speakers in numismatic business, some of the biggest dealers, and these guys really know their business. I want to thank everybody again for taking the time to come to this. I want to introduce the speakers on a one-time basis. Each individual speaker will have different things that he wishes to speak about in regards to silver dollars and other related numismatic items. We'll have a question and answer session at the end of this session. I would like for you to hold your questions, if you would please, until each and all speakers have had their delivery. Our first speaker that we have today, let me introduce the speakers one at a time first, and then I'll have them come up individually. But on my right, going around, is Mr. Roger Bryan from Bryan Limited in Gainesville, Florida. Mr. David Hall of the Inside View and David Hall Numismatic Investments in Newport Beach, California. Mr. Hannes Tulving of Hannes Tulving Rare Coin Investments and also Newport Beach, California. Mr. Leon Hendrickson of Silvertown, Winchester, Indiana. Mr. Fike, that was Mike and Fuljenz together. There's a word for that, I don't know what it is. Mike Fuljenz from the James U. Blanchard and Company in New Orleans, Louisiana. And Mr. Bruce Amspacher, is it Shawnee Mission, Kansas?
I'm in Newport Beach, California.
Newport Beach, California, monopoly here.
That's right.
And Mr. John Dannreuther of JDRC out of Memphis, Tennessee. So we have an excellent panel here today. At this time, we're going to go directly into our question and answer session. I want to thank all of our guest speakers for being here. And again, my regards that Mr. Bryan had to leave because he had an airplane that he had to catch. So at this time, I'd like to open up your questions. And if you have a certain speaker that you'd like to direct a question to, please let me know. Otherwise,
Information for one area and no information for another area. Right? So in my newsletter, I started what I call the dimple sheet, which has the bids, dealer bids for MS64, MS65, and MS66 deep mirror dollars for all of these different dates. Then, after I send that information, the proof-like price to the deep mirror price. So right now, what I'm saying, the important thing to remember is that those prices are completely in transition. There are a number of coins, bid prices, you know, that the coins would be a bargain at many times, you know, those particular prices, and it was going to take a while to get all of the. Next question. Yes.
Oh, I was just going to say one thing about that. You know, I talked to Ron about that, and they've got a problem with the amount of space. In their printing setup, they're going to have to do something that's rather complex in order to create that new column. A lot of dealers have complained, you know, vehemently about this, because obviously we sold a lot of proof-like dollars, and now we have no point of reference, and it's another giant case of shooting ourselves in the foot, I guess you could say. But I think it's going to be rapidly corrected, so I think you're just going to have to, like you said, we're in a period of transition, and just be a little patient there. It sounds like it's going to get solved pretty fast here.
yes.
I was just to understand, you mentioned the CDN, the gray sheet you're referring to is going to be a dinosaur. The dealers and the people now are using the certified coin letter, or the blue sheet, or there's daily quotes. Clarification.
I think Mr. Dannreuther can answer that one real well.
Basically, the CDN we know, because usually somebody calls up at 5 minutes before. We know when 4 o'clock is going to be there. It's a constant thing. We sit there and monitor the prices daily, and quite a few other people do also.
Is there a publication on that?
Yes and no. There was a publication that listed the ask side of the market, you know, when you get your blue sheet in, on some things it can be totally changed because you're looking at a week-old price.
Because that's something I really am over on the next day. that doesn't get printed until the weekend, it isn't in the mail, it doesn't arrive to dealers till the next Monday. At that time, there's been a tremendous change in prices. So all the, this is not to downgrade the certified coin dealer newsletter. The numismatic quote system didn't do any better job either, because it's anything that's in print is like reading the newspaper when you saw it on CNN the night before. It's history by the time it gets to you. So it's a lapse in time, and the only thing we have to live with. Next question. Yes.
With the trend towards commercialization.
For the Redfield collection. The last bird coins, of course, all have tags from that auction. You should save the tag, it means a lot. I guess what we could do, we could take the Blanchard and the Paramount press releases and crumple them up and put them
My
in.
question is related to the previous one. My understanding is that the blue sheet represents the bid on a coin, and it really represents the bid on the lowest quality coin in a group of coins of a certain grade. And that it also does not necessarily represent any actual transaction, just a bid on the coin. And it may never have sold.
Yes, who are promoting this idea of sightseeing buying, okay? There are dealers that don't like the idea of giving up their margins, so they say our coins are premium quality, okay? And then there's a small group of people that own the Coin Dealer newsletter that want you to continue to subscribe to the Coin Dealer newsletter and say the sightseeing bid is more than the PCGS bid or the NGC bid or whatever, because it isn't. If you
The PCGS bid, okay, for the worst possible quality, all right? I mean, that's basically, I hear that question all of the time, and this is probably the worst misconception there is. I am high ante bidder on probably, on many hundreds of coins. I guarantee you, when I put those up, I'm not saying, please send me the worst one. Okay? I mean, it's ridiculous. The bid is merely the high bid at that particular time. It has nothing to do with whether or not the coin is the best one or the worst one. Not only that, you have to remember that what is the best one to bid in the room, 65, 64, 65, 66, 65, so that we have 3 people agree on 65. Obviously, to one person, the 64 person, that coin is a low end. To the 66 person, that coin is a high end. I mean, even so, even though we have a considerably over blue sheet or over ante or anything of this nature, there are some times when you will not get your bid hit all the way from $2,400 to $6,000. You'll never buy a coin all the way up. All right. Therefore, but if all it takes is $14,000 to be high bid, it's ridiculous. And yet bid has never at any time been over $18,000. That's the highest that bid has ever reached at any time. The reason for that being is that it never had to be any more than that. All right. We recently saw an example of a 93S dollar, which was, where the bid increased from $53,000 to